So it's time to hear about Mr. John Lee's story. Let's put our hands together for the man himself. It's Mr. John Lee.
All right, so you guys excited? You should be excited. Excited? All right, so quick question. Raise your hand if you are currently using ChatGPT. Raise your hand nice and high, nice and high. Okay, now keep your hands raised if you use ChatGPT to read your emails and reply to your emails so you never check emails ever again. Half the hands go down. And raise your hand if you won't raise your hand no matter what I say. There's always a guy at the back. There's always a guy at the back. So first of all, I want to say a massive thank you for all of you being here. And, it takes a lot of effort to just take time out of your life to be here. So first of all, give yourself a massive round of applause. And also, I'd like to thank Peter and the incredible team and Moody and the whole team who put this together. It's funny, we were sat down, 8 months ago. So Pete's like, hey, John, come to my office, sit down with my team and just teach us this AI stuff. And so I'm going through all these strategies and I say, hey, Pete, you should put an event on. I said, well, how would we do that? Well, so we can use a lot of these strategies because how things are changing is this. It's all about awareness. In fact, write this down. Awareness times attention equals income. You've got to be aware. Right now, we are all media companies. Think about that for just a moment. Nike is a media company selling shoes. Netflix is a media company selling subscriptions. You all in this room are media companies selling investment. And so we have to look at ourselves and how we're positioned in the market. And when Peter and I, we sat down together, I said, look, let's just try this out. Let's just try this out. And we put it together, and I got to say, Moody and the team and how they've been really able to do this and implement everything we've told them to do, it's just incredible. So can we give Pete and the incredible team a massive round of applause? Thank you, brother. Thank you. All right. So I've been asked to kind of talk about what are some of the ways and how things are changing. And so how many of you agree, by the way, that the world is changing very fast? It's changing very fast. The question is, how do we adapt to those changes? How do we integrate? See, a lot of people use, but they don't integrate. So I'll give you an example. I have an assistant. I have a real assistant. Her name is Perline. She's my executive assistant. And then I have a virtual assistant. She's called Nova. And so every day, I'll ask Nova to do things for me. So, for example, before coming into this room, I thought, what can I do to demonstrate things live and to show you what works, what doesn't work? And so I took a picture of Pete yesterday and I said, Pete, let me clone you for a second. Let me see if this works. So I'll show you that a little bit later. And then I said, what can we create that can help all of us in this room? And so I decided to code an app whilst having my double espresso downstairs, and I just checked, and it's just finished. So I'll show you what that is. Why am I telling you this? Because when it comes to becoming this media company, when it comes to having the awareness, there's really only 5 levels we have to think about. You see, if you understand these 5 levels in AI, it's very, very different. The first one is you have to learn how to talk to it, right? Most people, they will just say, write this email or do this thing, and it just talks back to you. That's your standard prompt engineering. But what we want is pragmatic engineering. So for example, if you want to get the most of AI, right now, most of the things that you do should actually be done by AI. What does that mean? If I'm able to talk to it in a certain way and it can do things for me, then effectively it replaces the task. Let me give an example. Would you like to hear a live demonstration? Yes? All right. So let me open up Nova. Let me see if the internet is strong in this room. Hey, Nova. I'm speaking at the Capital Wealth Summit. I'm talking about why people need an assistant like you. Can you just tell everybody in the room why, well, first of all, who you are and what you do for me? See if it works.
All right, everyone. And I'm here to shake things up. I'm basically the digital twin of someone who's obsessed with helping you win. I'm that assistant you call on when you need clarity, momentum, and a little kick in the right direction. Whether it's scaling your business, building a brand, or finding your freedom, I help you strategize, automate, and focus on what actually moves the needle. Think of me as that extra brain. No excuses, just action.
So Nova, what I want you to do is I want you to look at all the pitch decks that have been sent. I want you to do the criteria of all the companies that have 100 million ARR, and then I want you to find the contact details of this person. I want you to scan all their social media profiles, all their LinkedIn, and then I want you to draft an email to basically send to them. Once they reply, and if they haven't replied, send another email and change the subject title. If they still haven't replied, go to their personal social media, find out what they did in the last 7 days, change the subject title to where they've been. For example, if someone's just been to the Maldives, put in the subject title, hey, how was the Maldives? So it's personal to them. Once they reply, you then want to analyze what other investments they've done. Then check the pitch deck for all of the board of directors on that company and look at how much they have in the AUM right now. How much have they raised? And what I want you to do is keep following these profiles and give me daily updates on their traction. Are they double-digit growth? How much have they raised? What's their Series B? What's their pre-round? I want you to do all of that and give me a report every single day. Bang. It does all the work for you. Raise your hand if you think that's pretty amazing, by the way, if you can do that, right? So we're now moving into the world, and I don't want to get too technical. By the way, how many of you would say you're pretty advanced in AI right now? Show of hands. Okay, how many of you are completely new to this? How many of you are just trying this out and you're implementing it, but you're just kind of testing the water right now? Okay, let me bring you to attention to this. We have to learn how to talk to it, right? But the second thing we got to do is we also need to learn what tasks are ripe for replacement. For example, you should all download Fixer. So Fixer is an app, and it basically connects to your Gmail, and it will reply and read every single email that you have. And you can attach your knowledge base to it, so it sounds like you. It doesn't sound like an AI. So Fixer.ai can do that, or you can use something called Claude Code. How many of you heard of Claude? Right? Currently, right now, it's the best. Currently. Because it allows you to not only talk to it, but task it. Okay? Number 3, we also need to know what tasks that we replace, but also what can we vibe. I'll give an example. I just flew in from the Maldives, and my daughter's on an iPad, and said, "Honey, what are you doing?" She's 7 years old. I said, "Daddy, I'm doing this coloring thing." I'm like, "Okay, you spend a long time on that, honey. Like, we should go for a swim. We should, go and see some fish." "No, Daddy, I'm on my," and she's literally painting this thing. And in my head, I'm like, I'm just going to make an app like that. So if she's going to use an app, at least use my app. So I came across this. Let me show you a quick. So I literally went to Nova, and basically I own Nova, and I said, create me a coloring. Right? So I can click one of these, I can click on all these things, and now she's using our own apps. Right? That took 20 minutes to create. And all I did is I got the URL of all these other apps, put it into, by the way, another best one, Manus, M-A-N-U-S, is one of the best. One of the best. That's going to save you so much time. It will do the research, it will do all the handling of the programming and coding, everything. And you can link it to WhatsApp. So just like I talk to someone on WhatsApp, my team member, I'll tell Nova what to do, and Nova will do it for me. So whether it's coding an app, whether it's vibe coding. Right now, we're living in a world where everything now has to be proprietary. Unfortunately, a lot of the legacy SaaS companies are not working that well. Why? Because they're too rigid. How many of you know what I'm talking about here? Right? You use a lot of these softwares, it's too rigid. So that means anything that you need from now on, you need to create your own ecosystem. Meaning, if I want something, if I want an AI to scour the internet looking for all the products available, if I want the AI to go out and find me all of my prospects. I'll give an example. I was flying to Nashville, and as I got on the plane, I saw an advertisement for an agent conference, an AI agent conference. I said, I should be speaking there. And normally, where's Kirk? Kirk, can you stand for a second? So Kirk is my manager. Say hi, Kirk. Right? It's the more chiseled version of me. It's funny. People walk up to him and say, are you John Lee? They're mistaking him all the time. So, but I now also have an AI manager now. So I said, here's what I want you to do. I want you to take the URL of this conference, put it in, analyze all their speakers, and find out what is missing from their agenda. Then what I want you to do is, based on my profile and what I do, draft an email and then send it. So number one, find that person's email, and it found it. And by the time I'd landed, the person said, look, we're full for this event, but we'd love to have you for the next one. And so now we can have things done for us. When we understand how we talk and how we task and how we vibe, another big one as well is, this is the biggest one, knowledge base. First thing you need to do is get yourself something called a AI pendant. AI pendant. You wear it and it records everything that you do. How many of you have team members and staff members? Show of hands. Okay, so get every single one of your staff members an AI pendant. They wear it every single day. When they're on the phones, it's going to record everything they say. And basically what it's going to do is going to clone their brain. So now you have a second brain, right? So that means the AI can then articulate things for you. I was at my good friend's house. How many of you heard of Rio Ferdinand? Rio Ferdinand. So I was at his house yesterday, and we were talking about, we want to create a new show, because everything's a media company, right? So I said, okay, AI, let's create something that looks like a show, right? That would look like it would be a trailer. And so as we talked about this, and I'll show you an example of what this looks like. By the way, this is PAI. You ready? Oh, is any sound on this?
Clone anybody. My name's Peter Doyle. Peter Doyle.
Let's go again.
Hi, this is a live demonstration of how powerful AI is. From one picture, you can literally clone anybody. My name's Peter Doyle, Peter Doyle AI. Thanks for coming to Capital Wealth Summit, and I really hope you enjoy the speakers, particularly our most incredible speaker, John Lee.
Give a round of applause. So when it comes to creating a lot of these different strategies, it's finding out what's actually working in the market. So once we understand how we talk to it, how do we task it, how do we vibe it, how do we create the knowledge base, then it comes down to number 5, connecting it. Connecting it. When we connect it all together, it does everything for us. Let me ask you a question. If you could have 1,000 employees right now that can execute for you 24 hours a day, they don't complain, they don't call in sick, they never ask for a pay rise, how many would find that very useful? By the way, a lot of you thinking, well, John, does that mean people are going to take over people's jobs? No. There will be an evolution of jobs. What I realized is artificial intelligence and what we called I would call it the human intelligence, are now starting to collide. And what's becoming of that is now called creative intelligence. So unfortunately, AI tends to hallucinate a lot. How many of you have experienced this? Just make stuff up. I remember I was driving to Reading, and I'm in my car, and I get this engine light that comes on. I'm like, honey, my wife's like, you need to pull over. So I pull over and said, what's happened? You need to replace the oil. So I open the bonnet, and I'm like, I have no idea what to press. So you know what I do? I take a picture from ChatGPT. I say, where should I replace the oil? And he so confidently said, this one. So I go into luckily I have a spare oil in the back. And then I open the cap and I start pouring it and it starts coming out. This purple stuff starts coming out. The guy walks past and said, hey mate, that's your radiator. I'm like, he said, whatever you do, don't turn your car on because it's going to ruin your radiators. And by the way, prior to me doing this, my wife's like, honey, be careful. You don't know what you're doing. Because I have a house manager, Jane. Let Jane do it. I said, no, honey, I got this. Look, I'm using AI. So after I put it in, and then he says, it's your radiator, I look over my wife's face like this. And you notice that face, that wife face that they give you? And then she said, I told you to listen to wife GPT. So don't always believe what AI is telling you. This is why we don't want an open model in AI. We want to have a closed model. OpenAI, everything you put on the internet in social media, everything you don't own. When you drag those management accounts and put them in to your GPT or your Claude, that doesn't belong to you. That is all going to train their models. So what you need to do is have a closed model, right? The closed model, you own it. It doesn't leak out to the internet. So I wanted to give you 5 things that could really help you along this journey. Okay, so I want to bring the slide up for a second. Can you guys see the slides at the back? Yeah, I think there's a screen on the side if you guys can't, or there was a screen there. All right, I want you to pay attention to this. Everything in gray is people not using AI. Everything in green is people using AI. Everything in yellow is people who are paying for AI. And everything is red are people doing these 5 tasks. Right? Each one of these squares represents 3.2 million people. That means in the whole planet right now, there are 0.04% of people right now using AI. In the whole planet. So what does that mean? We're early. Right? You're all early doing this. So, what I want to talk about, this strategy, the 5 things that you need to know in AI to really move forward, especially, how many of you are financial advisors in here? Any financial advisors? Wealth managers, real estate, the rest of you, what do? You just come for breakfast? Pete's like, yeah, they'll come for breakfast. All right, so these are the 5 things, okay? WAVIT. I'm going to go through this really, really quick because I know I'm limited on time. But if I'm going to be around all day, by the way. So if you have any questions, you're like, John, that didn't quite make sense, come and speak to me. Right? And my manager, Kirk, here, if you have any questions, come speak to Kirk as well. Right? If you're confused on some of this stuff. So the W, everything that we need to be doing is, and this is going to speed up a lot of your execution as well. Emails. Never write emails again. Right? You need to use something called an MCP, Model Context Protocols. They come built in with almost every platform right now. And it will connect to your email. So let your knowledge base reply to the emails for you. Okay? Video scripts. You're probably wondering, John, how do I get more clients? So I have 6 million people that follow me on social media. But that's not impressive. What's impressive is my AI going into the data to finding the clients. So, and it's funny because people say, well, John, it's okay for you because people already know who you are. You've been doing this for 20 years. I said, okay, I'm going to challenge. I'm going to build an AI version of me that will outperform my own account. Would you like to see an example? Yes? Okay, watch this. This is one that outperformed my account. Okay, so I created this guy. His name is David Chen. Right? Well, it's me when I'm like 80 years old, right? But look at the engagement this guy's got. I'll show you the stats. I'll go into dashboard. I'm going to go into the account. In the last 30 days, this is not a real person, right? This person has had 1.7 million views. And this is the most important part, 6.5 to 93%. 93% of all the people that saw this do not follow me. What does that mean for you? That means you can put a piece of content out, attract all your investors, attract all your family offices, all your collaborations, and more importantly, all your potential unicorns. This is how I've literally invested in 25 companies and now have 4 unicorns. Using this exact same strategy right now. Because it gives me early allocation. Right? They're pre-seed rounds. Right? So, it's at 1.7 million, but look at this. It's not I put this on 25th of March. That was less than a couple of weeks ago. 919,000, 490,000, 100,000, 59,000, 37,000. This guy has gained a following of 42,000 people in the last 30 days, and he's not even real. You're like, well, John, how does this work? So let me give you an example. There's a guy called Matthew Gallagher. In 2022, Sam Allman said, one day there will be a company with one person that has over $1 billion in valuation. 2 weeks ago, the first unicorn with one person and his brother made that happen. Within 1 year, he created a little product, made $401 million in the first year, with now a valuation of $1.8 billion. Why am I telling you this? Because there's only 2 people in that company, plus 800 AI David Chens. 800, promoting and marketing. So I want you to see this, because now all of you can do this, and I'll give you some ways on how we can do that. So, for example, if people say, John, how did you gain so much following, so much views so fast on a brand new account? Because of video scripts. When you are looking through LinkedIn, when you are looking through social media, you're going to see posts that have already done well. What you're going to do, you're going to copy the URL and you're going to put it into something called GenSpark. GenSpark. And your prompt is going to be this. I want you to watch this video, analyze it, break down the script, rewrite the script, and then create an audio from this so I can post it. By the way, just so you know, Manis has now been acquired by Meta. What does that mean for you? That means you don't have to post on social media anymore. You can literally say, take this post, clone me, use the script, and post it on Facebook and Instagram. And it will do it for you. You don't have to spend time doing that, right? Articles. We want to put articles. LinkedIn. One of the best ways to get a lot of exposure is to write a lot of articles, right? But you don't have to write it now. Claude will do the writing for you, right? Presentations. You can now have it do all the presentations for you. Audio. Check this out. Podcasts. We can use something called Notebook LM. So take all of the things that are really viraling in your industry, put it into Notebook LM, and it will turn it into a podcast. Then you can use something called Breaker, or you can use something called Restream, and it will post it on all the podcasts for you. So now you have a lot of exposure. Remember, we're now media companies. Media companies, the more people know who you are, what you do, the more business you get. Is this making sense, by the way? Yes? Okay, cool. All right, next, music. I want you to check this out. Voice AI. And I'll talk about mics in a moment. But the best one, this is something that I said to Pete. If you use Whisperflow, you'll never have to type again. So Whisperflow, you're going to save about 2 hours a day without having to type. Am I right, Pete? Yeah? It's amazing. Okay, so I've always wanted to write my own music. I always wanted to write music to motivate people. But I can't really sing. Don't know how to write music. But I kind of know what the music feels like. So I asked AI to write me a song. And this is what it came up with.
Morning sun is creeping in. Dreams are where we all begin. Dust yourself and wear a grin. It's time to let the day begin. Lift your head and stand up straight.
Pretty good, right? Yeah, sounds all right. But here's the thing. Zania Monet is an AI artist, does not exist. She put a song out. It got 6.4 million downloads. Listen to this. Sounds like a real song. I mean, it is.
He didn't walk me down no stairs.
Sound pretty good?
Didn't want me.
It sounds so good that she's got 182,000 followers on Instagram, 6.2 million views, and got a record deal for $3 million. Why am I telling you this? A lot of my friends in Silicon Valley, they are not investing in companies anymore. Guess what they're investing in? Media brands, AI. Why? Because there's a really good book, which I'm sure. How many of you read the book 0 to 1? Oh my God, you all need to read. Peter Thiel, one of the biggest investors, one of the first investors in Facebook, put $500,000 and turned it into $1 billion. He said, all companies that have $1 billion valuation, what do they have in common? They have distribution. What's the word? Distribution. But how do you get distribution? You get it through social, because here's the thing. People are not going to sit there and watch a film for 2 to 3 hours now. But you know what people will do? They'll scroll on their phone for 2 to 3 hours. This is where the attention is. Where the attention goes, the money flows. So you need to meet people where they are. That's where they're consuming content. Now I want to introduce you to micro dramas. For founders to raise money, they need to tell a story. Would you agree, yes or no? Right? But founders right now, the traditional way is here's the pitch deck, here's my prospectus, get in a room, pitch, maybe I invest. But now it's the other way around, it's switched. People are now creating micro dramas to grab attention. We're now living not just in the media, but we're also living in the attention economy. That means you need to put more stuff out there so people know who you are, so they can come to you. So I asked Pete, I said, Pete, look, you've done some incredible work, right? You watch what happens when you put this event on, you will pack out. And it's just an idea that we talked about over a boardroom table, right? Because now you change the positioning. It's the attention. That's what I want to think about, okay? Next. Let's go to video now, right? So here are some of the things you want to do. Start cloning AI ads. Why is this important? Facebook now are now changing the criteria. How many of you spend money on Facebook? No one? Okay. How it's going to work now is you're just going to tell Facebook how much your budget is, and then they're going to spend it for you. You won't have to create ads anymore. You just give a website on who your ICP is, ideal customer profile. So if you're a financial advisor, you want more high net worths, you want more people who in the top 1% earners, it will go out and find it for you. So you don't have to. UGCs, user-generated content. Now, you need to write these down because when I show you what this is capable of, Seedance just came out 2 months ago, right? I had early access to it. Would you like to see what it can produce? Yes? Imagine if you didn't have to spend $500,000 to $1 million to create an advert now. Imagine if you could do it for $500 to $1,000. Let me show you an example. This is one of my clones.
Learn these 5 things and you'll know more than 95% of people when it comes to AI. The first one is learning how do you actually talk to AI.
So that's my clone, right? But look at this one. Now, people are complaining about, well, John, what about if I don't want to use AI? Look at this.
All right, object replacement, turn this into a cup of coffee. Also make the background into a New York penthouse overlooking Central Park. Okay, now make my shirt red. And also the light's too bright, make it nighttime.
Let me tell you why this is important. I told you right now we're early. How do we solve problems? By having AI analyze a lot of things that we do. How many heard of Ben Affleck? Ben Affleck just created an AI that doesn't replace artists, but replace the production of a film. That's one of the biggest expenses. He just sold it to Netflix for $800 million. He saw the opportunity, he saw the problem, and now he's profited from that. And why am I telling you this? Because I want you to think outside the box. In your industry right now, what is the biggest problem that you could solve? So actually, when people say to me, John, how do I create a unicorn? Really simple. Go to a business, find out what the problems are, Otter AI it or pendant it, turn it into text, put it into Claude, and say, give me a solution for this. It'll give you the solution. Then you put it into something called Base 44. And Base 44 or Lovable will build that thing out. Then you go back to the company and say, here's the thing I built for you. And now you charge a retainer. So these are some of the things that you can do. Let me show you another one. What if I want to speak different languages? Listen to this.
The skills you can learn is the power of artificial intelligence, learning that how to put into businesses and learning how to monetize it.
Fähigkeiten, die Sie lernen können, ist die Macht der künstlichen Intelligenz zu lernen, wie man in Unternehmen zu setzen und zu lernen, wie man es zu Geld zu machen、あなたが学ぶことができるスキルは人工知能の力を学ぶことであり、それをビジネスに投入し、収益化する方法を学ぶことである。Habilidades que usted puede aprender es el poder de la inteligencia artificial aprender, que la forma de poner en las empresas y aprender a monetizarlo. 你可以学习的技能是人工智能的力量，学习如何将其投入到企业中，并学习如何将其货币化。Le competenze che si possono apprendere sono il potere dell'intelligenza artificiale e l'apprendimento di come inserirla nelle aziende e come monetizzarla.
Pretty amazing, right? What if I could take your business and translate it into 52 different languages with 52 different social media channels, driving all the traffic back to you? Would that be useful, yes or no? Yeah, right? So let me show you another thing. Remember, so if I want to create some kind of micro drama. How much is it going to cost? It will cost you $250,000. So I decided to go to AX. I have a new book. I just got signed by Hay House and Penguin. So I have a new book coming out. It's called Money Unlocked. And they said to me, John, like, what type of production would you create for this? So I decided to use Nova to create this. Watch this. That's my mum, by the way. It's my mum.
Have you got it yet? Did you get it?
I'm trying, ma'am. I'm trying.
What are you going to do? Shoot me?
David Chen.
What? Are you crazy?
Look, if you really wanted the book that bad, you should have just asked. It comes out in May. Grab a copy.
It's all AI, by the way. My mom again.
Are you done?
Pretty good, right? So yeah, thank you. So imagine if we could take all the companies that you've invested in, create a media company around them. What do you think happens to the valuation? Do you think it goes up or down? That's what happens. Look at what Ryan Reynolds is doing. Ryan Reynolds will go to Aviation Gin or the telco company. He puts his face on it, and suddenly now it's worth over $1 billion. That's how the market is changing, and this is how we need to evolve. Let me show you one last one before I finish up. So I thought, okay, let's do this as a test. And so yesterday I was at my friend's house, Rio, and Rio and I, we have some things that we're going to be working on. And so this is kind of like a secret project, but you guys are going to get the first preview of this. Are you ready? Okay, watch this.
He doesn't need a club, he needs a legacy. And I build legacies. He doesn't need a club.
He's not performing to contract standard. What's his release clause?
More than we paid, but less than he believes he's worth.
That is the decision.
Just give him another chance.
People. I've never felt more alone in my life than in that dressing room after we won the cup.
Pretty amazing. So now you can create Netflix-style trailers for your business. That would have cost $500,000 to $1 million to shoot. That was done in 3 hours. 3 hours. So I want to just remind you that the things that we want to do, the things that we put together. By the way, a lot of you are asking, what softwares do we use for that? What are the AIs for that? Don't worry. Come and see Kirk later. I'll give you a link to all of the softwares that I use and all the AIs that I use, so you can do this for yourself. Would that be good? Yes? Yeah? So come and see Kirk. And again, imaging. I'll just finish up on this. Higgsfield, one of the best. You want to use that. Nano Banana Pro, Midjourney, Gemini. These are the top 4 that I use to create everything that you just saw. All right? I want to create an image. Make John Lee hold this teddy. Right? Great. Okay, I took that photo. That's a real photo, by the way. But I don't like that. Put John Lee in that shirt. Look at that. It's real. right? I just save you thousands of dollars on shopping now, right? So and that's when Superman came out. Okay, team. I'll finish up on this. Ghost personas. When you use your AI, create a ghost persona. What is a ghost persona? So I have a developer called Grace Chen, right? And what she does, she's a programmer from Facebook, right? It's the exact profile. I put that person into my AI and it acts as a programmer. So use a ghost persona. AI team, right? Create your own version of Nova. Chained AI, put it all together. So here's what it looks like. Basically what you do is, you tell it what you want and it builds the whole thing out for you. So you don't have to do things manually. This is what it looks like in terms of a media distribution. You want to get more clients, you get more awareness. The best known beats the best. Best known beats the best. So what we'll do is we're going to create our content factory. Then we're going to create images and then we just post it on social media. So now you don't have to do things on social media anymore. AI will do the whole thing for you. So that is the WAVIT strategy. It stands for written, audio, video, imagery, and anything team-based. One thing I'll say to you is this. We're now living in an era where things are changing very, very fast. And we need to get into the place where we can now capture this. Here you had the .com, right? Was in the early 2000s. Then you had the social media. Then you had the crypto. Now, where are we right now? AI. We are in the AI creator space. These cycles don't come very often. They only come like every 10 years, right? In AI, it's a lot shorter. So I challenge you, I implore you to do this. And why do we do the things that we do? We don't do it because we want to make money. We want to do it because we want to make impact. We want to do it because we want to really make. That's why when I said to Pete, I said, look, you've helped so many people. You've really given them incredible lifestyles and people that you've worked with. Now let's all pay it forward. Let's all work together. And that's what we're doing. If we can help other people and we can pay it forward, does that make a better world? Yes or no? And we're in one of the best places in the world right now in Dubai, right? Where things move so quick and so fast and you're so innovative and you have so much innovation and so much community. I think in this room, there's going to be a lot of unicorns born. Do you have time for questions? Actually, you know what I'll do? By the way, because I got like 2 minutes left before I come on stage. How many of you would actually love to learn more on this subject? Can I see your show of hands? Just raise your hand nice and high. You know what I'll do? I'm going to be here all day, all right? What I'd like you to do is scan this QR code, scan that QR code, and then just fill your details in. There's a QR code on the side, so if you can't get it, just scan that QR, just put your details in there. And then Kirk will have a little conversation with you. And then I'll see how we can help support and answer questions and how does that actually apply to your business. And we'll do that here. And again, with the support of Peter and the entire team, we want to really help work together to really help you grow. Because when the tides rise, all the ships, they rise at the same time. I just want to say thank you again for Peter and the incredible team. Thank you for listening. I hope it wasn't too much, but I really hope that I have the privilege and honor of serving some of you guys in the future. Thank you. My name is John Lee. Thank you. Thank you.